Greater Cincinnati hit with a snowstorm, leaving up to 10 inches on the ground.
The plows couldn't get through, and we could still get out, but we were stopped on southbound 71 for 2 hours just sitting there.
A nightmare for drivers and the drivers responsible for clearing the roads.
Anytime you get this much accumulation, it's going to take a minute to get through the main thoroughfares. So we have pretty much a systematic approach that we go. We get through our main thoroughfares, hospital, emergency routes, and then we get to the residential routes.
But the headaches the snow brought to commuters also brought delight to Greater Cincinnati children, preparing for the next winter blast on this edition of Let's Talk Cincy.
From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. The Queen City was hit hard this week by a blast of winter that put us in a deep freeze and gave us the largest one-day total of snow that we've seen in more than a decade. Meanwhile, an earlier storm just a couple of weeks ago did not produce as much snow, but it did test the city's snow removal response. And based on the calls we received from viewers, that first response barely got a passing grade. The city blamed the problem on staffing issues. This week, crews were put to the test once again.
I think the city did a much better job this week. I think it's important for all of us to appreciate how important this is in terms of a city service that we oftentimes think of police and fire as being most important, and it certainly is. But what our Department of Public Services does in terms of treating streets, snow removal, the sanitation work, paving roads, this is as important of a department and a set of city services as there is. And so we've done, since I've been on council, a lot to reinvest in public services. And my sense is that that's just the beginning. I mean, we've got a lot more to do to ensure that we have as many crews out there as we need to give citizens the best possible services that they deserve. The core services that we provide, I mean, that affects people every day. And, we've got to do even more than what we have. Over the course of the last couple of years since I've been on council, we've been investing in public services because it's so fundamentally important. But we need more crews, and so that's something I'm going to fight for moving forward. If your house gets broken into, you want the police department to be there quickly and there to help. If there's a fire, you want the fire department to show up and to be to do so quickly and to help. And when it snows, you want our crews to show up quickly and be there to help. And, I think we did a better job this week, but we've got to do more.
My understanding before is, and people have to give the city a little bit of grace because, we're affected by COVID also. And so I understand a lot of the workers in the public services department were sick. They were, quarantined. I mean, they were really short staffed. And so they really did the best they could. And then, if people ever have a problem, there's that Fix It Cincy app. You have that app on your phone and go down and say, hey, my street didn't get shoveled. My street didn't get plowed. So there's always that too. So, we're trying to be customer friendly because, we are here to serve the people of Cincinnati. And when people complain, that's not a bad thing. It just means that we have to do better.
Well, now we turn our attention to COVID-19 with the vaccine seemingly turning the tide. The debate over returning children to the classroom is heating up. Some question whether it's safe for students, teachers, and staff to go back. Several districts have had in-person learning all school year. Others have not. CPS students went back to in-person learning in this month after lawsuits by the teachers union failed to keep the doors closed. Molly Lear was there for the first day back.
Fairview Clifton students roll in one by one, some by bus, others on foot, and some by parent drop-off. There's a sense of anticipation mixed with worry.
Nervous and excited at the same time.
I'm excited, nervous, scared, and also very, very excited.
Parents weighing what's best for their child's education with the safest way to learn. School officials say they're taking every precaution.
Students who are being dropped off here on the street, we actually take their temperatures while they're still in their car to make sure that they are free of a fever. Once they're here, they go back to the back of the building where they enter socially distanced, and we make sure we take their temperature a second time.
Gone are meals in the cafeteria and crowded hallways. Students instead stay in their classrooms nearly all day. This gives them 2 days with a teacher in person after learning online most of the year.
I think the 2 days a week is just enough for exposure and also for just getting them a little bit of school in person. So we're fine with the blended learning. We think CPS has a decent model in place.
We went into education, myself and the teachers, in order to be around students and to impact their lives and be in their presence. And so being remote has been really, really hard for all of us.
The basic health principles to keep students learning in the classroom ingrained in even the youngest learners.
I'm going to keep my mask on, always get hand sanitizer.
Well, the Cincinnati Federation of Teachers lost a last-ditch effort to push back the start of in-person learning. The union argued its members were worried for their safety. Hamilton County sits in the red for COVID-19. The union says metrics set by the district to determine when students and teachers return were abandoned. Judge Lisa Allen upheld the board's plan to return to the classroom, writing, quote, "There is no just cause for delay."
This is absolutely Judge Allen ruling against the safety of teachers and students.
We're more than at a loss as to how it is that we've ended up here when we've got clear contract language that subjects these two grievances to binding arbitration.
The union says it's not giving up and still plans to arbitrate despite that ruling. Meanwhile, teachers returning to the classroom were given the opportunity for a first dose of Pfizer vaccine. Up next, more on this debate about getting kids back in school when Let's Talk Cincy continues. This week, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine said the pandemic has taken a toll on academic progress. He says the achievement gap is widening. He was referring to a report released by the Ohio Department of Education. Meanwhile, the state board passed a resolution this week reaffirming the importance of in-person learning. I talked to one local educator who agrees with the governor, but he also shared with me the difficulty of getting kids back in school as we continue to fight COVID-19.
You know, I think I speak on behalf of all educators right now. We're trying to salvage what's left of the school year right now. It's just very difficult, you know, for those families and those kids who haven't been able to have much success. And I'm talking about not just at Don, but just across the board in all school districts. You know, trying to get them back to some form of education has been very difficult. And so I agree with what the governor is saying right now. I truly support it because we need to get back to some form of normalcy here soon. Or I feel like we're going to continue to keep losing more and more kids to other things. One day, you know, I'll say we're coming back on this day, and then, you know, something happens where I'm not really comfortable with doing it. And so I'll keep them out another week, and then I'll say, okay, well, we're going to bring them back this week. And then, you know, the county turns purple, you know, so, you know, it's just been a seesaw type of reaction for me. And you can't, people always tell me, like, you can't be wrong in this type of situation. But sometimes I do feel, you know, that I am wrong for maybe bringing the kids back in quicker than they should be. But I'm a guy who wants to get back to some form of normalcy. I don't want to rush it, but I'm seeing the effects right now of kids that's just been out for so long, like I said.
How are your students doing through this?
I think they're doing okay. We do have contact with them every day. And, you know, the hardest part to this whole scenario is that there's nobody in the household, or very few, let me say that, I don't want to speak for everyone, but very few parents in the household that are pushing the remote learning. And so you can come up with everything. I tell educators all the time, you can come up with the best plan in the world, but if it's not followed through once they leave your school building, it's very difficult. And so what I see happening is that if a teacher is, you're supposed to hop online at, let's just say 9 o'clock, well, that kid may not hop on until 12 o'clock, you know, because there's no time, you know, for them, the time is not important. The kid to say, well, you know, at least I did attempt to get on. Well, that's not what we need. We need you to be, you know, just like if you were in school, we need you to be on a time, you know, constraint. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I see. Some kids are coming in, they're picking up packets, you know, and they're bringing them back. But the problem is that they need that additional help because a lot of students, and I'm not just talking just me, but they're just not self-starters or self-motivating students. So they need that extra push. And I see that with the COVID, it doesn't give us the ability to do that. So I think, you know, across the state, I think there's going to be a lot of kids who are behind. And I think that's schools going to have to work harder with being very creative to come up with ways to get kids to recover credit.
Now, the Ohio governor wants every district to come up with a plan to help students catch up. Reportedly, the plan could include longer school days or adding days at the end or beginning of the school year. Those plans must be made public by April 1st. Up next, the battle for affordable housing here in Cincinnati, how a multi-million-dollar project is reigniting that debate. Welcome back to Let's Talk Cincy. A recently approved development in Cincinnati is actually reigniting the call for more affordable housing. The Cincinnati City Council gave the go-ahead for a $77 million residential development. That project is located at Elm and Liberty in Over the Rhine. It includes hundreds of new apartments in a mixed-use space. Just 2 blocks from Findlay Market. Rent would range from $1,200 to $2,800 a month. The City Council voted to approve a plan which means no affordable housing. Mayor John Cranley did not have a vote, but calls this project a good thing.
If people don't support development, fine, but don't lie and attack people's integrity and character. Just make your argument that you want to keep the surface lot a surface lot, because that's effectively what you're arguing for. And that's fine. You have every right to that opinion. It's also the case that 2 weeks ago when this council delayed, that an individual was shot outside of Liberty and Elm on the same day. Now, obviously, even if we had voted for it 2 weeks ago, that wouldn't have changed that outcome. But it's incredibly symbolic of the debate.
I think what residents are looking for is some kind of assurance that they're not being taken for a ride, that this promise to apply for the LIHTC low-income housing tax credits is really real. It's something that can happen. And so that's why the second question came, is this a viable project for a fact?
There's nothing in this project that kind of screams out to us that it's not viable for the tax credits.
Well, now the developer agreed to set aside some units for low-income tax credits, giving those who earn below the median income the chance to live there. Well, you know, Cincinnati is facing a critical shortage of affordable housing, but right now there are plans on the table by city leaders to find solutions.
If you work in the city of Cincinnati, you should be able to live in the city of Cincinnati. The housing crisis is a serious one, and the pandemic has, I think, brought that to light in a way that it's brought many other crises to light. For far too many children and families, housing is not something that's guaranteed, certainly not quality housing. So we set up the first ever eviction prevention fund, and we've been investing in eviction prevention work so that, at the moment, thousands of children and families are able to stay in their homes who otherwise would have had to move and find, if they can, inferior housing, problematic housing. The second thing is we are about to pass a new scorecard for development, which will incentivize affordable housing along the income spectrum.
Here's the thing with affordable housing. So LISC and Greater Cincinnati Homeless Coalition, Strategies to End Homelessness, lots of groups, and this was a few years ago, but did a study about how much affordable housing we're actually lacking, and it was something like 28,000 units in Cincinnati. And, when you count the county, it was something like 40,000. So in Cincinnati, we're lacking about 28,000 units. And so we have to really come up with a plan that incorporates affordable housing with all of the development that we're doing. Now, having said that, let me just say, people are not against people, residents, community members, we're not against development. Development is important. We need developers. We need people to invest in our city, make our neighborhoods beautiful, build new construction. We need all of that, new businesses coming in. But there are three issues that really intersect. And I've seen this intersection since I started council in March. One is, a lot of communities are saying, development is fine, but where's the affordable housing? The second issue is, okay, all this is happening, but people are getting displaced because their rents are going up, their property taxes are going up. So, they're losing their homes or can't afford their apartments. They need affordable housing too. And then the third is community engagement. And, for maybe lack of a better term, we're talking about meaningful resident input.
We are bringing folks together around a new fund to really support the construction of new affordable housing, to protect the affordable housing that we have, and efforts to keep rents where they are until we can get incomes up.
Municipal benefits will be tied in with affordable housing. So that's really important. We want to incentivize it. And let me say, as it's a work in progress, right? We're working on this ordinance now, but as we're working on it, I also want a lot of public comment. So I want to bring affordable housing advocates, community councils, developers, builders, just bring everyone to the table so that we come up with a plan that we can all agree on, but that moves us forward. And, you look at other cities and other places are actually getting this right. And so it's not that we're starting from scratch. We have lots of models we can actually look at to see how other cities are actually doing this right, but we have to think big.
Very important issue. Up next, American history comes alive through the memories of a 1950s civil rights activist, Mattie Jones' story, when Let's Talk Cincy returns. In 2020, we saw many historic moments unfold as our neighbors and nation were shining a spotlight on America's racial imbalance and hidden bias. But was last year so different than the past? We want you to meet Mattie Jones, a well-respected Black activist down in Louisville. Her commitment to racial equality dates back to the 50s. Marvis Herring introduces you to Miss Jones.
I tell everybody, racism is not born in a person. Racism is taught.
Miss Mattie Jones told me she learned that lesson years after moving from Memphis, Tennessee to Louisville, Kentucky. She was in second grade.
Believe it or not, I walked past maybe 2-3 white schools, all white schools. Never thought nothing about that. I was joyous, overjoyed to get to Madison Junior High and Central High. Those were our schools, our friends was there.
She graduated as Louisville Municipal College closed and integration took effect.
That was the only college that African Americans could go to here at home.
She chose Indiana University, about 100 miles north. While there, she says penmanship, it almost landed her an on-campus job. Then the employer saw her in person.
I didn't think anything about him looking strange, but I knew he got quite uneasy. And then when he was able to, through his choked up voice, to say this to me, that's when it really hit me. That's when it created not love, not being upset, but it changed me into really being mad.
Jones joined the Black Workers Coalition. Over the years, she's planned boycotts and rallied for human rights all across the country and here at home.
What was the Breonna Taylor investigation and more like for you?
It was the same old soup warmed over. When I heard of the Breonna case, my mind said to me that we have not been on the job. We haven't did what we're supposed to have done. Because we're in the 60s and we came through the human rights movement, we got satisfied with some crumbs. And we could move out into the suburbs. And we forgot from whence we came. And this little creature began to creep back in a more dignified, sophisticated way.
Maddie Jones turned 87 in 2020, 15 days after Louisville Metro Police killed Breonna Taylor in a controversial midnight raid. Jones attended some of those local protests, witnessing a modern-day movement layered with hope and some confusion.
We didn't have leadership. You see, during the 60s, we were trained. Before we got into the streets or anywhere, we went to a place in Newmarket, Tennessee, and Dr. Martin Luther King's aides and men that worked, and some women, they trained us how to be resistance to violence. And they explained to us and taught us what was going to happen. We didn't go out there blindsided, thinking everything was going to be all right. See, none of this happened during this last protest that we had. But I applaud those young folk for having the goodwill and the mind and the heart to step up and said, enough is enough.
In Louisville, Kentucky, I'm Marvis Herring.
So important that we hear the voice of people like Miss Jones. We thank her for her service. Well, that does it for the show today. Hope to see you again next week.